All right, guys. Good morning, good afternoon. How are you guys doing today? As hardworking parents, we juggle long hours, responsibilities, and the constant change of making ends meet. While ensuring our kids have the best possible childhood, raising children is incredibly rewarding. But it doesn't have to be expensive. Creating meaningful family moments does not require a big budget, just intention, creativity, and resourcefulness. Welcome to the podcast today. My name is Curtis, and I'm with
RJ Horner, beacon of
awesome,
leadership.
awesome RJ. How are you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thanks. So, what is some of the things you did when you were raising your children to do some affordable, fun things?
Um, affordable. I would say it's always been pretty difficult. Because you want to take your family out. You want to enjoy quality time, and it seems everything costs money, right? So
Yeah,
trying to make it affordable is always a challenge, and I think that's why this episode is such a blessing, right? It's going to be valuable for people.
absolutely. Good. Well, there's also different activities people can do. They're affordable. They're around all the cities in the world, I think, as far as I know. So, spending quality time together with family strengthens family bonds. But when you're balancing work and financing, it can feel quite overwhelming. Here are some low cost activities that may fit into your hardworking parent schedule. Some outdoor adventures for the family could be a picnic after work. So instead of eating dinner at home, take some sandwiches or snacks to the park and spend the evening in the park with your kid. Especially if your kid loves playing in the park, it'd be fantastic.
hmm Yeah, I remember as kids, we always loved going to the beach, right? So,
Yep,
um, but even that, like, because there's very few public beaches anymore, right? So, or they're far away. So, trying to get to them still costs some money, but again, you can make it more affordable. I like the idea of a backyard picnic or barbecue,
yep,
right?
camping, yeah, camping even. Yep, that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's good too. We're fortunate here. We live in Fort Erie, so we have beaches very close by with a 10-minute drive anywhere. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah, there's Crystal Beach near you, right? Which is a
Yep,
beautiful, huge beach that people go to.
yep, yep. Well, you got to pay for parking. That's the only downfall of that. No matter where you park, you got to pay for parking. But where we live, we can park anywhere and we can get a permit and park for
Mhm,
free. So it's kind of
mhm.
cool because we live local. Then what you can also do is weekend hiking and nature walks. Exploring local trails is a great way to get fresh air, exercise, and unplug from the screens, which I think is great. I know during the summer it's a little more easier for us to do this than the wintertime for some reason. Usually because the wife doesn't want to put her winter stuff on, walk in the cold, so that's
Mhm.
fine.
Yep, I
I
know that one.
Yep, yep. I walk my dogs every day, so twice a day I take them out in the cold, no matter what the weather is. So
Yep,
I'm kind of used to it now.
yep, same here.
Another one you could do is free community events. Sometimes you have outdoor movie nights, concerts, and festivals that cost little to nothing. I don't know about you, RJ, but out here we have a real estate company that will put on every once a year. They put a movie thing on for everybody in the neighborhood. It's
hmm
kind of cool. They have one of those big blow up screens and they have a projector.
hmm
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I thought it was
I
awesome.
haven't. So I've just recently moved to Guelph, and when we were in Orangeville, those were available all the time, like three
Oh, like
times,
every
four times
weekend?
a year.
Oh,
Well,
wow.
3 or 4 times in the summer season, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Which is a great thing. But again, there's all kinds of activities happening, picnics, barbecues, that community events that people want to put on that are free or next to nothing
Yep.
sometimes.
Small entrance fee or something, just for it's usually for
Yeah,
charity, usually too,
and
right?
sometimes it's bring some canned goods or bring some for the food bank, that sort of thing, right? So there's
Yep.
different ways that you can get out there and have quality time with your family
Absolutely.
without it costing a fortune.
Awesome. Yeah, what was it? I think there was one of the, oh yeah, my daughter is premature baby, so every year they have the hospital puts on this special event for premature babies, and just to get people to know each other and stuff. We went for a couple years, and it's amazing how kids look one way when they're babies, and then as they grow up, how they develop. Very awesome.
And so on that subject, yeah, look out for events that are happening with something related to you, right? With
Hmm.
you and your circumstances, because it connects you with like people, right? People who have
Yep.
been through something, people who are experiencing the same things as you. So there's a common bond there that you can build off and build friendships too.
Yep, for sure. All right, well, let's move on to the next one here. Smart budgeting kids essentials. So raising kids can be costly, but making a strategic financial choices helps hardworking parents provide for their children without stress. So one thing you can do is save on clothes and shoes. My favorite is that my wife works at a clothing store, so we get discounts on clothing and shoes, which is great. Not every parent can do that. Obviously, if you work two jobs, you can probably do something like that. But the next best would be secondhand thrift stores. Like out here, it'd be like Goodwill or what's the other one?
Value Village.
Value Village. Yep.
And
Facebook.
and we're talking about Canadian. Well, Goodwill is international. I think it is.
Yep. Yep.
I know.
Salvation Army too. Yeah.
Yeah, Salvation Army is international. Value Village, I think it's local, but I
Yeah.
mean, there are other thrift stores out there in your neighborhood. There's, every neighborhood has a thrift store that you can go to, and you know what? There's also that astigmatism that going to a secondhand store, um, you're there's a less quality to it. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
look, there's sometimes good quality goods, and if you're selective, um, it's there's really nothing to it except you're saving some money at the same time, right? So
Yeah, yeah, for sure. There's also Facebook Marketplace. I know we've used it a few
mhm.
times, finding stuff that hey, do they have anything like this? And spending full price for something or some other ideas. You never know, right?
Yeah, and I'll say with secondhand stores as well as buying on marketplace is buyer beware, right? You
Yep.
want to make sure that the goods you're buying are working, they're in good condition, and you can save a lot of money in your budget that way and still get the things you need.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then I don't know if you ever heard of clothes swaps or exchange clothes with friends and community. Have
I
you ever done?
haven't heard of that. No.
Yeah, that's something new. So what the sorry, one of my friends, that's what he does. He goes, he buys t-shirts and stuff. He has a t-shirt business, and
Hmm.
he'll go down in Toronto and they'll have an exchange. And what it is, it's like bins fulls of like rejected clothing of some sort. And then he buys all the t-shirts because he knows the different brands and all that. So then he'll resell them on his Instagram account. It's pretty crazy.
Hmm. I think that's a great community event right there. Is invite people out to a clothes swap. You know what I mean? Get
Hmm.
part of a larger fair or something like that, where you invite 10, 20 people to bring out their clothes, and anybody can pick through it and go through it, right, for nothing. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
For a
Yes.
small fee, like we said, and so they can pick and choose, a handful of clothes that aren't theirs; they were somebody else's,
Yep.
and vice versa. And then I guess at the end, a good thing to do with that is to donate what's left. You know what I mean? Donate it to your local thrift store or Goodwill, so that it can be used to help other people and maybe help society as well.
Yep. Another fun one is learning how to basic sewing repairs, fix rips and tears, buttons and stuff.
Mhm.
Right? Are you able to do that stuff, RJ?
Yep. Yep.
You
I
can.
haven't done it in a long time, actually, but thank you for reminding me that it is possible. Yep. But um, yeah, I learned how to darn socks when I was a kid. You know what I
Oh,
mean? And
nice.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. My mom has always been crafty, so we've learned all sorts of stuff from her.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, I fix buttons and stuff on my kids' clothes all the time right now. So my wife's not very good at sewing. So okay, moving on to the next one is affordable school supplies and books. What you can do also, back to school is always the best time to stock up. I know
Hmm.
I do. I'll buy like tons of lined paper and blank paper for the school year. It's always super cheap. How about yourself, RJ?
Yeah, just there, I would recommend the dollar store. You know what I mean? The local dollar store. You can
Yep.
get paper, pens, books,
Yep.
um,
Very good.
binders, things like that
Yep.
for a couple bucks.
Yep. Yeah. I always find back to school they always have like crazy deals, right?
No
So
doubt. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And other than
especially
that, outside of that, you know what? Usually, like Walmart and things like that, they're still fairly expensive outside of back to school times.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So if you need something in a pinch, go to the dollar store. Good
Hmm.
stuff. The next one would be like go to libraries, using libraries because library has all sorts of. They have books, they have CDs, they even have
Yeah.
their computers now. You can use their computers for free. Like you got a
Printing.
library card, you go and use a computer for a couple of hours, right?
And printing, you know what I mean? So if you need something, you want to take it, take it with you. You know what I mean? You can print
Yep.
out something from a book. But yeah, resources are so they have CDs, DVDs, right? So, um,
Hmm.
and I'm a big proponent of that. I used to, when I was doing my research a while back, I used to
Yep.
spend my break or so I used to work a split shift. And when I
Right.
would have my split shift, I go to the library and do my research there. So whether
Oh,
you're a kid
nice.
or an adult or trying to subsidize, and and another thing, so when I was doing working at the library, they'd always have programs for kids, right? For
Yep.
to encourage community access, but also to encourage you to come to the library, take out some books.
Yeah.
And the kids love it, right? So
Oh yeah, for sure. They used to have a reading time at our library. It was in Niagara Falls. It was
mhm,
pretty good. So every Saturday, I guess, they'd have a reading thing or a movie thing for the kids. And usually, most kids just hang out. They walk around. They well, not every kid sits still, obviously,
yeah.
but they had like a little play area for the kids, and they had kids books at their level. It was kind of cool. I thought it was
Mhm,
awesome. All right. So another one you could do like do it yourself learning materials. So on the internet you get printed off worksheets, learning games online and stuff like that, right?
mhm.
So
Yeah, I know you're a big proponent of that. You use that yourself, right?
yep,
So
yeah, coloring
and
pages and stuff. Yeah,
very successful, very and you keep your kid engaged, but you're also building a better relationship with your
hmm
children.
yep, it's good stuff. All right, my favorite here is feeding your family on a budget. This is tough because especially get food prices and stuff lately, it's kind of more difficult. I find.
Listen, I grew up on Kraft dinner, you know what I mean? Macaroni and cheese. And
Oh
even
yeah,
that's expensive now. It's like $1.50 a box or something like
if
that.
yeah,
Whereas,
yeah,
when we
it's
were
on
kids,
sale. Yeah,
it was like 25 cents a box, right?
50,
So
yeah.
that could feed a family for 25 cents. Now you can't do that anymore.
No, no. Well, everything I think is fine is relative to what you're making, but now I think it's beyond what we're making to the cost of food.
Hmm.
One of the ideas I like is meal prepping and knowing what you want for the week. So you can
Hmm.
basically meal prep. So you cook in bulk. We actually had a cookbook. We were actually doing this for a while. Had a bulk cookbook. So like, say you want to have like 5 meals or 4 meals, whatever it is. They give you all the list of ingredients and how and the weights and all that, and you just build it. They make it and you just divide it up. So each week you have say 5 meals for this, or then the next week can you do 5 meals for another thing.
Hmm.
So within the month you can rotate through all the different food stuff. It was kind of cool.
Hmm.
It was initially it's expensive, but I think the overall price was like a couple bucks for each meal. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So and
And
you're not
so
cooking that night.
And so, yeah, on that subject, I mean, get yourself a Costco membership, a bulk barn or a bulk shopping center. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Because again, there's where it can be advantageous is you buy things in bulk, right? You buy
yep,
your meats and stuff like that, and then store them away in a freezer so that
mm-hmm,
you divide them into to 4 meals, basically, sometimes for a family,
yep,
right?
yep,
So,
yeah. It's speaking of the freezer, there's a couple of local meat shops now that will, if you buy a certain amount of meat, they'll give you a freezer free.
oh, really? Just
Yeah, so let's say,
and that's another way to shop too is find out what kind of perks you can get for shopping at this location, right? And then
yep,
maybe shop around that way because, um, again, those freebies kind of offset what you're spending.
yeah, like a freezer depends what size it is. Obviously, it can be a couple $100, right?
Mhm.
But if you're spending $1,000 on meats, but that's going to last you well over a year, right?
Right, exactly,
So
and that's why
yeah,
buy in bulk like that, and then so they give you a freezer. So now there's really no excuse for shopping there, right? Because
yep,
you're getting a deal on the meats, and then you're getting a place to store it.
yep, yep, yeah. There's the meat places out here. I forget the name. Neutral Farms, I think. Neutral Farms or Natural Farms, I forget. But they
Mhm,
have local meat, like local farmers that raise meat, and they do that. And they also have fruit and vegetable places like gardens and stuff that's connected with them too. So you can do that all throughout the year. So you get your meat shipped. If you don't have a freezer each week, you get all the meat shipped to you and all the fruit and vegetables you want as well. During
mhm.
obviously certain times of the year is more abundant than others, right? Because there's seasonal stuff out here in Ontario and in Canada it's a little different.
Yeah.
If you want local, it's a little bit different. Speaking of local stuff, the next thing you can probably do is start growing your own small garden in your backyard, or if you have a balcony, you can probably do it there too. It's like creativity, especially with kids. It gives them an idea of how to do that, and
Hmm.
it can cut down your grocery bill. And it's a good bonding time too.
Yeah,
Because we
getting your
did
kids
that.
involved in that, absolutely. My
We did
daughter
that.
just moved to Wasaga, and one of the first things I noticed was already had a garden built in the backyard, and
Oh,
I'm
nice.
already planning all the things I'm going to plant in this garden, right? So it means I have to go. But here's the thing: so my kids are adults, right?
hmm
But that doesn't mean the bonding stops or the relationship stops. They're still
No,
our kids. So now, because she has a garden in her backyard, it gives me a reason to go up and spend some quality time with her. So, we can plant the garden. And then now I've got to go every few weeks and pick some stuff from the garden, right? So,
right, right.
there's still a way to remain affordable, remain connected, and build those family bonds.
Fantastic. That's good stuff. The The next thing would be like packing lunches instead of buying your lunch every day.
Hmm.
Do you do that?
Yep.
Yeah. What we usually do is I cook an extra bit of meal at night, food, whatever dinner is, and then I'll have it for my lunch the next day. I remember working in construction. Some guys would buy their lunch every day, like $5 to $10. It's like, oh my
Hmm.
god!
Yep.
And then they,
And because that's construction sites, they have the coffee truck or whatever that comes.
yeah,
You know what I mean? People often, and those are overpriced goods, right? They're already
yep,
overpriced because the guy's got to buy it somewhere and sell it to you, right? So
yep, yep.
people don't get that, but again, having those leftovers or even making a sandwich or something at home is a lot more affordable
Oh
than
yeah,
buying from those
yeah.
guys.
One of the cool things we got was this mini crock pots that has a
Yep.
special straw lid, and I put soup or chili and stuff like that. You put it in the crock pot, bring it to work. You plug it in on your first break, and by lunchtime, you have a hot meal. It's like wow, fantastic. Only a couple
Beautiful.
bucks.
Yep.
Yeah, one of the
Yep.
guys saw it on Amazon, so like a dozen of us bought one the
And so
following
and
week.
and another thing to do is to get together with your coworkers and
Yep.
you know um create a community lunch. You know what I mean? Like everybody pitches in so that nobody's spending a horrible amount. They're all paying less, and you guys sit there and have lunch hour together on
Oh yeah.
this meal that you guys have pitched in on.
Oh, kind of like a potluck idea. You're
Yeah, kind
saying.
of. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, it's really
exact
neat.
same thing.
So,
Couple times a month. You know what I mean? Is something to a subsidize your budget.
yep.
And I
You
know
know,
we're talking
bonding
about
with your
feeding families,
employees
but we also have to feed ourselves, right? And if we can cheap out on lunches at work, we can maybe afford a few more meals at home.
for sure. All right. Next thing is affordable childcare and learning solutions. Childcare can cause a strain on hardworking parents' budget, but there are practical ways to save while still ensuring your child's growth and development. So I don't know if you have ever had childcare when your kids were growing up, or did
We
you have a
did. We
stay-at-home
had
mom?
daycare. Yeah. We had daycare. So it was a local YMCA.
Yep.
So, but it was
Yeah, they're
still
pretty
costly.
popular.
Yeah, it was still costly, right? So,
Yep.
unfortunately, I know one of the solutions we had at the time, and we've kind of talked about this before, is childcare swapping,
Yep.
right? So you watch my kids during the week, and I'll take them here on the weekend, so that
Yep.
you can get a break on the weekend, and there's a give and take there, so that it's less costly.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That works great, especially have friends in the neighborhood and stuff like that,
Mhm.
right? Or in an apartment building. I remember when we were kids. I think we lived in an apartment building, and then one of the ladies there did babysitting, and we're always at her house. It seemed like as kids because my mom worked so much, right? Trying
Yep.
to make her ends meet, but it was fine. She was a good lady.
And
And next,
and of course there's family and friends too, right? It's always
yep,
you it's always good to take advantage of an aunt or a sister.
or
Hey, can you watch
grandparent,
my kids?
grandparents.
Yeah, absolutely. So hey, it's affordable, and they get quality time with your kids,
Yep,
right? So,
and they'll usually do it for free, right? Their
yeah,
families. So
exactly.
yep, yep, it's awesome. Yeah, and there's other community services out there that will be a little bit cheaper than maybe the local YMCA. Perhaps there's like sometimes churches will offer certain things, or other community organizations might have something knowing that people need this service.
Mhm.
But usually the YMCA out here is usually pretty good, right? Next one would be low cost educational resources. This is kind of cool. I didn't know you can get this stuff PBS Kids on your computer. That's something I've noticed when I was watching. Oh, my kid watches kids TV, but I checked out pbs.kids.com and it's like, holy crap, there's so much stuff.
And there's all kinds of TV shows. If we're gonna use TV, might as well use it to be educational and
Yep,
productive. Like this
yep,
Discovery Kids, so they have those science.
yep,
They have
yep,
National Geographic. You know what I mean? So there's way to be educational if you're going to watch TV as well.
yep, yeah, for sure. And then the other one's Khan Academy, KHAN. That's pretty good too. Has
I've heard
tons
of
of
that.
stuff. Yeah,
Yeah, I've
tons
heard
of
of
stuff
that.
for kids. And then you can do like homemade learning games,
Yeah.
right? Just like money, teach your kid about money, about how to count the money and stuff, what it looks like, stuff like that, right? Reading activities instead of just reading. You can read at night every night to the kids.
Mhm.
That helps them, and then eventually you get them to read to you.
Yep. Listen, I remember as a kid, my grandmother taught me how to read as part of babysitting, right?
Oh, nice.
So when I went to school, I could already read quite well.
Yep.
right? So, but she taught me on all the, and that's another thing we don't do with our kids anymore either. We don't do nursery rhymes. Like I was brought up on nursery rhymes. You know what
Oh
I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah. The Hickory Dickory Dock and stuff like that. Yeah,
Well, yeah, a lot of others
something
like
like that.
that. Yeah, but and we don't do that anymore. We don't teach our kids that way, and because maybe people think it's too corny or what, I don't know.
I
But you
don't
know what?
know.
This is a way that because they're rhymes, because um they're like a song, right?
Yep,
We can remember them as children,
yep. Because there's a
and
rhythm
we're
to it. Yeah,
yeah, because that intrigues us, right? So it
yeah.
gets your kids involved, it gets your kids excited. Before they even go to school, they can now build up a vocabulary and be able to read some words, of course,
Mm-hmm.
because
Yep,
at some point that was with me. So at some point I wanted to not just hear my grandmother tell me, I wanted to actually see the words and learn the words.
yep. Awesome. That's pretty good. Now, obviously, we talked about this earlier about library story time and programs. So I thought was cool.
Yeah.
Next one is like something my daughter and I do is do-it-yourself science experiments. I don't know
Hmm.
if you tried like the volcano thing and a couple other things like mixing slime, making slime at home.
No. Yeah, I know
Yeah,
my sister-in-law used to do that with her kids all the time. They were
yeah,
making slime. And you put, you can put sprinkles in it, sparkles or
yep.
something like that. And yeah,
Hmm.
so it's really fun for kids.
Yeah, yeah, they enjoy it. My daughter loves slime. My wife hates it because some if you don't do the right one, it'll stick to the furniture and stuff. So
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, that's not cool. But anyway, I think we've pretty much perfected it. We actually bought a slime making machine, so that's fine. All right, so the next is one to be budget friendly celebration of holidays. So um, birthdays and holidays can are memorial and thoughtful budget friendly ideas. Here are some that we can think about. Affordable birthday celebrations. This one is pretty popular, I think, is hosting at home parties for your kids in the backyard or in your house. I prefer the backyard because it leaves less of a mess to clean up later,
Hmm.
especially with little ones running around or whatever. You can also, if you have the money, you can rent stuff like rent bouncy castle or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I've seen people do that, and it's like, wow, this is a good party when they have a bouncy
Yeah, but
castle.
I mean, when we're talking about being on a budget, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
I'm sure there's lots of games you can figure out, and if you go online and research them, you know what I
yep,
mean? Affordable backyard games or affordable party games. I'm sure you can come up with several that could cost next to nothing, right?
yeah,
Using
yeah,
stuff you have at home.
yeah. Not like lawn darts when we were kids, right?
Yeah, yeah, no, no, definitely. Those are banned now for a reason, right?
They're pretty dangerous things. You can also do-it-yourself decorations. You can find like recycled materials, like old boxes and stuff, and like string them together or make loops and stuff. Right? We've done that
You
before.
mean like you mean like taking the old beer cups and some Christmas lights and things like that?
Oh well, that's more of the adult party, maybe. But like there's use the stuff around the house you can recycle and
Yeah,
make it
yeah, yeah.
into
That's
something.
yeah.
Yeah, you got a little creativity there, right? So it's parents and the kids thinking of things,
Mhm.
and sometimes people are a bit lazy and don't want to do that sort of thing, right? So that's unfortunate.
Listen, my sister-in-law, like I said, she's very crafty, and she
Nice.
will for each occasion, like every season, like when So what is our next occasion now? Is
St.
she's done it?
Patrick's Day.
She's done up her house for St. Patrick's Day already.
Oh wow.
She actually has a
Like.
small Christmas tree. She has a small Christmas tree that she takes and decorates it for each season.
Hmm.
She leaves it in place, and then based on so she's got that tree decorated for St. Patty's Day. Mind
Oh
you, her
wow.
whole house is done that way.
Yeah.
So you know what? Um, instead of watching TV, or maybe you put your TV on the background and do something. Get like we've talked about. If you stay on your feet, you're more productive, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So stay on your feet. Do something rather than just sitting there staring at the TV. You'll have a less sedentary life,
Yeah,
and be healthier in the long run because your mind is productive, your body is productive. So
that's
being
good.
crafty is very healthy for you.
Oh yeah, mentally too, right? You're using your mind and stuff. Excellent. Next one, be limit the guests and maybe reduce the food amount of food you're serving. It could be simple as about going to Walmart and buying the $4 pizzas instead of ordering it from a local shop, maybe. And instead of having 20 people, maybe you only have like 10 or 8 to 10, right?
Hmm.
And some other themed ones you can probably do is they have pajama party, scavenger hunt, or backyard game thing. So like each kid or parent would bring a game that they have at their house, and all the kids could play it, right?
Yep.
So every parent has a different outdoor game, perhaps, and they all bring something. So that could be another community type of bonding thing, right?
Yeah, and so all that takes is planning and coordination, right,
Yep.
between the
Oh yeah.
guests, between the attendees.
Yep.
Having those conversations before. And look, we planned events, right, and we know that
It's a
it
lot of work.
involves working with ourselves, among
Yep.
ourselves as a team, but also coordinating with our guests to say, what are you bringing to the table? How long is it going to take you? What do I need to bring? But all of those conversations, having them
Yep.
before the event, can actually produce a successful event when it's time to get together. So, among parents and things like that, let's have those conversations, and especially now in the era of text message and messenger,
Yeah.
so we can create groups just for this party, right? Call it,
Yep.
Michael's birthday party, and
Whatever. Yeah.
everybody coordinates and plan out the event in a chat group.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fantastic. It's easy enough. All right. Next one. Let's go to holiday fun without overspending. Secret Santa or group gift exchanges reduce the number of gifts needed, which has, I don't know if you've ever done that before. Secret Santa.
Hmm.
We did it last year at my sister's house. It's called White Gift or something. So everybody who came bought one gift, and then you just do you roll the dice and you shift the one package all the way around for like how many times, and then each number on the dice had different activity. So say it was like open the present or pass it to the left, pass to the right, and the next person would roll the dice, and then they would have to open the present, and they have to keep that present. Once that people go through, then you can actually exchange or like, oh, I don't like this, I want that one type thing, right?
Hmm.
So that was fun. It was a very fun game we played.
Hmm. And I saw something recently. So I think it was a Facebook post I saw this morning,
Uh-huh.
um, where somebody created a birthday card or something like that, and it was
Yep.
yeah, a homemade card, and so it said, "I love you, and I will never let go of you." And it was a picture of Legos joined together,
Oh,
holding each
nice.
other, and the one says, let me go," and then the other one says, or let go of me, and the other one says, never. You know
Nice.
what I mean? So something cute and corny like that. Um, and it's meaningful
Yep.
and affordable.
Absolutely. Yeah, my sister does cards herself. She makes homemade card style. That's actually a quite complex thing they do. It's multiple layers to it, and it's paper craft stuff, right?
Mhm.
It's kind of cool. Next thing you probably do, speaking of homemade stuff, you can do crafts and exchange and do gifts that way, or bake goods. Kids can do that, right? Get the kid in the kitchen, make some like whatever. Could be cupcakes, a cake, bread stuff. You never know, right? Like whatever you decide on. That's always fun. The gift thing, I think we did that when we were kids a little bit. We did stuff
And
for
so
paper bags or something. I don't know. I can't remember what we did.
and baking, okay, I'm not saying baking is for girls, but baking is going to entertain your girls a lot more so than your boys. But you know what, for your boys, how about some woodworking or something like
Yep.
that? You know what I
Yep.
mean?
Yeah, if they got the
um
equipment, yep.
yeah, create toys, or create,
Something, yeah.
yeah, a tool or something like that, tool boxes that, these can be gifts that, again, you're spending the time, quality time with your boys,
Yep.
and getting them interested in something, and it's being productive and affordable at the same time.
Absolutely. Also, community events. Many cities offer free tree lightings, parades, and cultural events. Out here, was it Bass Pro? Every year they do a Christmas thing, and they have crafts that you can make each week.
Mhm,
Each day of the week,
mhm.
they have like a certain craft, and you go in every day of the week if you wanted to and do the craft. And I think last year or 2 years ago, my daughter made a couple things, and she used it as gifts to her friends,
Yep.
which
And
was
there's
fun.
all
It's kind of
kinds of
cool.
community events, and sometimes it's the community or the city putting on the events. Sometimes it's a
Yep.
commercial company who wants to put on the events because they want to
Hmm.
bring out customers. I know in Orangeville, and another reason I'm looking forward to getting back to Orangeville is,
Yep.
so you could go to Rib Fest for free. Right, of course,
Yep.
yeah. The idea is you're going to spend some time, buy some ribs, buy a meal,
Or
maybe
whatever
go on
craft
some
stuff.
rides. I get it, but you know what? The concert stage was free. It was,
Oh yeah.
they had things going on all the time. So if you just wanted to go and enjoy the
Hang
concert,
out.
you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep.
Um, and
And
then
usually,
we also had the Blues and Jazz Festival where people would pay or play on the street. Right,
oh
so they
wow.
would, so you're getting free concerts by while enjoying some social time. Like, you can get a group of friends and family together, right, and
Hmm.
go to these events. So that's a good way to spend quality time for sometimes on a, low budget.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the community stuff's always great. I mean, the Rib Fest are always nice, but they always have local beer companies there too. I found a couple of
Some
times
of
I've
them
been
do,
to.
and you know what? I will say that's an underutilized asset is at because they want to have their beer tent, right? That's another way that they make, but like, because these are put on by like the Rotary Club or
Yep.
the Lions Club or
Hmm.
something like that, to for them to earn money, right?
Yeah.
So they do want to sell their beer tent where they just charge you overpriced beer, of course, right? But why not bring out some craft breweries of the local neighborhood and get
Yep.
them, get them to
Recognized or
sell,
whatever. Yeah,
yeah, get them, yeah. So there's an underutilized resource in this, and I, yeah.
for sure.
And I
All
know
right.
we're talking about families, but you know what? Here's something that, like, as parents, we want to have a little bit of fun too, right? While
Yeah,
we're out at
for
these
sure.
events.
Yeah, and they usually have bouncy castle for kids as well
Hmm.
there, most of the
Hmm.
events. Next thing kids could do would be advent calendars. So instead of buying store-bought ones, create your own. Uh, my mom is crafty. My entire family, I think, is all crafty. But anyway, they made the advent calendar, and they have like
Hmm.
different pockets for stuff.
Yep.
And then what my wife and I did was we bought stuff from the dollar store and like stickers and little doodads and stuff to put in there. That was fun because you never know what you're going to get, right? Because
Yep.
it's hidden. Then you look in it. She thought it was cool. The
Yeah,
store
and
bought
that's
ones are okay,
so
but
that's the thing is you get your kids to create the calendars, but then you stock them so
yeah,
that, yeah.
yeah, yeah. So it's kind of cool. All right, moving on to the next point here: teaching kids smart money habits. One of the greatest gifts hardworking parents can give their children is financial wisdom. Teaching kids to manage money early helps them develop lifelong financial responsibility. Um, so here's some tips here. Do you have any other tips there, RJ?
On
Things
that,
to do
I
with
just,
kids?
the one of the things that excites us is watching your money grow, right?
Yep.
So don't just put it in a piggy bank. People think putting it in a piggy bank, oh, it's stored away, it's stocked away. But then you want money and you're going, oh well, I have all this money in my piggy bank, I don't know how much is there, so you break open the piggy bank to find out how much is in it. But you
Yep.
know what, watching your money grow, so knowing and maybe having a counter or tally where you put $5 in it this week, or you put
Yep.
$2.50 in it this week, knowing that that's how much is in. So, and you can also do the math with your kids, right? Get them to
Yep.
add it up, and so that they know how much money is in there, and they can watch it grow and get excited about watching their money grow.
Yeah, for sure. Actually, there's a way of doing it. Like there's a clear jar, like a mason jar, and you do it that way. But the newest, more modern way is called a thing called My Dough. It's for kids, so you get money for your birthday and stuff or Christmas. Instead
Yep.
of leaving it there, they actually have a savings account called My Dough for Kids. One of my kids' friends has it. I was like, "What's that?" So I'm thinking about getting it for my daughter as well. So,
Mhm.
and they can see money grow, and they can actually spend it when they go out somewhere.
Yeah, well, that's
Yeah,
it, right? So
if they need to.
does it have a debit card, or how do they get access to spend it?
Yeah, it goes through the parents. I didn't really investigate it that much, but I just know that it's available.
Mhm. Because
The next,
again, you know what? Knowing you have $60 in your account, and like we talked about this in an earlier episode,
yep,
they want to spend $30 for a gift for their friend or something like
yep,
that. Knowing that they have $60 to put away, they can afford, $20 or $30 for this gift, right? And they can
yep.
feel comfortable doing that.
Hmm. Yep. Speaking of that, you can also teach the kids the difference between needs and wants. Explaining why budget means prioritizing important expenses. So a need is different than a want. You might need clothes for school, but you want like a certain brand because everyone else has. That's different, right?
Mhm.
Or you need to eat and drink water every day, but you don't have to drink smart water. You know what I mean? Just to get the
Yes,
water
good
in
call.
you.
Yes.
Yeah, that's one of those
Yeah,
differences. How I look
I
at it.
and we talked about this again in an earlier episode, is that, the needs come from the parents, right? We provide for their needs for the most
Yep.
part. And then if they want something, it's up to the child to find a way to acquire it.
Yeah, for sure. Another one is that we like to do is give our London allowance for doing chores around the house.
Hmm.
So it gives them rewarding their responsibilities. So if they do something, they earn money. So if she puts the garbage out, like the recycling out in the right bin, she gets some X amount of dollar or whatever, right?
Yeah, that's a
Or
good way
even
to
like
do it. Rather than just
cleaning up.
saying, if you do your chores this week, you'll get $5 or $10, right?
Or even the
But
daily too, right? You have
well,
daily
that's what
stuff
I'm saying.
too.
Like doing
Yeah.
it that way, you know what? You can say, if you do this, you'll get 50 cents. If you do this, you'll get $1, right?
Yep.
So that at the end of the week, based on the tasks they've accomplished, they get that accorded coordinated allowance, right?
Hmm.
Rather than just saying your allowance is $10 every week, and you're expected to do your chores, right?
Yeah.
This way they earn the allowance, and it's a different amount every week based on the chores they've
Yeah,
accomplished.
yeah, and it helps them later in life too because they're providing a service and they know they should be paid for it. And sometimes the worth, some people don't know what their worth is, and by
Yes.
doing this, say I'm worth X amount of dollars for this chore or this job, so that gives them the responsibility later on too. It's like, listen, how much you charge is? Oh, I charge X amount of dollars. Like that's expensive. Well, my time's expensive, so
Yep.
therefore that's why I charge, right?
Yep.
But then if they don't learn that, they kind of say, "Oh, it's $5," and they get ripped off by somebody,
Hmm.
Not necessarily, but they're taking advantage because the other person probably knows it's worth more money, and they're asking, and they're not being fair, right?
Yep.
But yeah, the next one is getting kids involved in budgeting. Let them help with grocery shopping, so they know how to use compare prices. So like you have the Walmart brand or the name brand. Walmart brand's usually way cheaper than the name brand. You say, okay, what's the difference? Not much, generally speaking, because most of the stuff nowadays, the store brand is just as similar as the name brand. It just has different packaging, right? And then you can also teach them how to use coupons. It's a bit harder these days because most of them are electronic, right? So you help the kids with there too. Say, hey, we're going shopping this week. Let's see what we can buy and what kind of coupons we got. Because some people will buy this item for the coupon price, which they don't use normally. So it's not as valuable, I find. So let's
Hmm.
say you buy this, for example, you said earlier about craft dinner, it's $1.50, and then a coupon for 75 cents. You probably gonna use a coupon then, right? It's more
Yep.
beneficial, right? If that's
And
something
we
you
don't
commonly
do we
buy.
don't use coupons the way we used to. You know what I mean? It used to be part of our culture. We'd sit
Yep.
there on Sunday mornings when the papers come in, clipping coupons and picking. So running through the flyers with your kids on the weekend. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's a good way to encourage them that this is how we shop. This is how we can save. We're going to say, and knowing how much you're going to save this week by buying your groceries or buying those things you
Oh
need.
yeah.
It teaches them that this is the way we shop. This is how much we can save. And when we save these kind of money, we can afford other things down the road.
Yeah, for sure. And next one would be encourage thoughtful spending. Show them how to make smart choices when spending their allowance. So let's say, like you said earlier, about spending something for a kid, instead of spending the whole $60 on your friend, maybe you should keep half and then spend the other half and then have that for another time. So you continue savings and spending. So I teach kids about that. Also, with that idea is also a delayed gratification as well. So it's important they know what they truly want. So sometimes I want this stuffed animal today. It's like, well, okay, so you may want it today. Let's come back tomorrow. If you still want it, then yeah, we'll buy it. So that kind of gives them that idea like, do I really want this? Or is it just because I saw it? It was just like an infatuation type thing. But then come back tomorrow, I was like, man, I don't really need it. I don't want it. And it changed their idea of like, hey, do I really need this today or do I want this? Right. So
Good
that's kind
call.
of a,
And sometimes that's hard when your child's having a tantrum over, wanting this good. Um,
mm-hmm.
how do you walk away from that? But that might be a solution. You know what? Okay, yeah, I understand you want it. But let's see if you still want it tomorrow.
Yep.
If you do want it tomorrow, we will come back. But you also need to know, like, you're training your kids in this manner, right?
Yep.
You need to know that if you've told your kid, if they still want it tomorrow, you got to come back tomorrow and get it.
Yeah.
Right? You can't be lying to your kids and hope that you're going to build a relationship or build trust.
Yeah, for sure. Excellent. All right. So some final thoughts here, RJ. Um, so as a hardworking parent, we don't need to spend a fortune to create a loving and rich childhood for our kids. Prioritizing time together over material things, making intentional budget choices, and teaching financial responsibility will set our children up for a fulfilling life. The best family moments come from love, creativity, and connection, not from how much money we spend. Let's build lasting memories without financial stress because our kids will remember the time we spent with them, not the price tags attached to it. That is something I've learned quite a bit over the last couple of years. That the time you spend with the kids is more important because it's an experience. Same thing when you're doing stuff like instead of buying stuff at a store for them, they won't remember that in their future.
Mhm.
But if you go do something that's fun, exciting, like say you went to a theme park, they'll remember that for a lifetime because oh my god, I remember we did this, we did this, we did that.
Yes, listen, I still remember all the times that my family had picnics at the beach when I was a kid. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
nice.
I listen. I'm 50 years old. I say I've lived a lifetime because I have memories of my entire life, and that's what the kids live for, right?
Yep,
Give them those memories, give them the quality time, and they will grow up to be respectable, happy adults.
absolutely. Okay, guys, thank you for being here today. I appreciate everything. If you guys liked the show and you want to hear it again, please hit like, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell if you're on YouTube so you get notifications when we go live. On Facebook, leave a comment. If you have any questions, leave a comment and we get back to you as soon as we can. And thank you, RJ, for being here today. I appreciate your comments and helpfulness of doing this podcast. And have a great day, guys. Any last words for yourself, RJ?
No, again, I like this episode. It was very valuable. We've talked about these things in past episodes, so please
Yep,
go back and visit our past episodes. But I like that we're reiterating these things over and again, so that in different aspects, so that
yep.
people get the concept of what you're putting together here with hardworking parents.
Awesome. All right, guys. Have a great day. Take care. We'll see you next week. Okay, bye bye.